best part of the show when we wait for the guests to go to the live stream.
Up.
Hey, how's it going, Kyle?
Going good. How are you, man?
Good, man. We're just going to go straight into this. Let's get the energy going. Okay, guys, this is
Cool.
Tea with Mike, episode number 20. This is Kyle Harris, and welcome to the
How's it
show,
going, guys?
Kyle. So our tea fact of the day is tea bags were invented in 1908 in the United States of America by Thomas Sullivan. This comes from teaanswer.com. So, Kyle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. So, as always, what's your favorite type of tea and why?
Man, my favorite type of tea. Dude, I grew up in the South, in the United States here, and I love sweet tea. Lipton sweet tea. So, that's what I enjoy. My mama makes the best, and nobody else can touch it. My mom's sweet tea is prime. So.
Nice. So how often do you drink tea?
Well, I don't drink tea very often, to be honest, only because I don't go back home very often.
Oh, okay.
So I live about an hour and a half away from my parents, and I'm constantly working, so I don't get to go home as much as I'd like to. But when I am home, I make my mom. I don't make my mom. I ask my mom to make me some sweet tea.
Nice,
So,
dude. That's probably
yeah.
like the best story we've heard yet. Like, tea for you is very special. Like and it's when you go
Yeah.
back home to visit your mom.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, so tell the world and the Tea with Mike audience about you, because as I've
Sure.
started looking on your Twitter and stuff, it's very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, dude, I got started in social media a long time ago. Like, I would say 7, 8 years ago. And then my real claim to fame is when Vine came around. And I kind of blew up on Vine. Didn't get very big, but I had about 10,000 followers.
Nice.
And then when I moved to Vegas, I met my wife. We're no longer together, but I met her on Twitter, and then we got married on Periscope. And we were the first ever live streamed wedding on the platform. And so Periscope and Twitter sent us to Huffington Post Live. They sent Good Morning America to our wedding. And we were on like Cosmopolitan Magazine, People Now, which is
Whoa.
People Magazine's online web show. I don't know if they do it anymore, but it was nuts. And that kind of launched me into my social media career. So.
Well, so a very unconventional kind of way to get started here.
Yeah,
So kind of
absolutely.
nothing to do with like social media. Well, not to do with social media initially off the cuff, because it's a celebration, and then you didn't necessarily know that it was going to get picked up by all these like media outlets, right?
Right, we had no idea. Twitter was watching us, of course, because we were talking about the wedding and we were talking about Periscope. And the reason that we did it is because we had a lot of family and friends who, we got married in New York. We had a lot of family and friends in like London and Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, places like that couldn't make it to our wedding. So we were like, what better way than just to stream it? You know, let's use the technology that we have and allow them to be there virtually.
Nice.
And yeah, like I said, it just kind of catapulted us into whatever this is.
Yes. So we went actually at a real church, and then someone was like streaming it for you, and then they posted it, and then it just like
Yes.
started popping.
Well, I was streaming. I had my friend streaming for me, and then Huffington Post Live was actually at the wedding streaming, and then Good Morning America was streaming as well at our wedding, and collectively we probably had about 30,000 live viewers.
Oh wow.
So it was pretty intense. We didn't expect that. So
that's kind of cool. Like it's kind of touching on like how you like took your unconventional start into social media. But after this big viral stuff, like what were your kind of like next steps to go from seizing this unexpected opportunity to actually starting to create something solid?
Yeah. Well, at the time, I had already been working in social media because of Vine. So while I was on the platform, I started doing small brand deals and learning how brands work with social media influencers and things like that. And I was connecting with a lot of local businesses, trying to run their social media pages, and so I got my start in freelance, and then eventually moved into a corporate role. I have no idea how I got into a corporate role at a major hotel and casino in Las Vegas. But I did. I got a supervisor role as a social media supervisor,
Oh, cool.
and didn't like it. It was too corporate for me. Hated
Oh,
it. Lasted there about a year, and then moved on to a smaller agency, and then opened up my own agency, and just kind of bounced around. And now I'm back in Little Rock in Arkansas, where I grew up, working at a small agency here and kind of running the social media department. So.
what exactly, if you could draw in, was it specifically about corporate that you didn't like?
I didn't like the limits on creativity. I like being in a smaller place where I have the freedom to bring my ideas to the table and just run with it. And corporate roles for me, it's too buttoned up. I hate just control. I love having my own control. You know, it's very important to me because I think out here where corporate people think right here and they don't think outside the box. So yeah, it's crazy too because a lot of people ask, what my degree is in. I dropped out of school 3 times and
Three
never went
times?
back. 3 times. I
Oh,
tried
wow.
school 3 times. Yeah, I went to Middle Tennessee State University for about a semester, hated it. Went back home and went to a different school and still hated it. Moved off and tried my own thing. Tried school again to make my parents happy, and that did not make me happy. So I was like, I'm out. I'm going to Vegas. So
Nice, man. So I guess from what you're telling me, you're kind of happy that the internet came along.
the internet is my best friend.
Nice.
Yeah.
So so kind of in the media and social media realm, like how important is social media kind of in like today's world from a business perspective, but also a personal perspective?
I think it's so important because with your phone, you have access to millions and millions of people. And if you're trying to grow a brand, if you're trying to grow a business, if you're not on social media, you're missing out on a huge, huge outreach. And it's free. It's
That,
literally
that,
free.
that's the cool part. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, people will argue, oh, well, Facebook has an algorithm and this and that. I'm like, yeah, Facebook has an algorithm, Instagram has an algorithm, but if you put out good content, people will share it. You know, organic. I fully believe that organic reach is not dead. So,
No,
I
I'll, I'll excuse me. I'll echo your point with like the kind of the organic reach because I think Tea with
yeah,
Mike is a really good example of organic reach, right? That started from
yeah,
nothing and like it's only been 4 months, but like over the 4 months, it's grown a little bit by a little bit, and then hopefully
mhm,
it'll just keep growing a little bit by a little bit, and then like one day you'll be like, whoa, it started from nothing, and now this
yeah,
is potentially where it is, right?
yeah. I mean, another good example is I just launched a brand 2 days ago and literally built a website in a day and put up a design that I had made, and it sold out in an hour.
Nice, I
You
saw
know,
that. Yeah,
it. I was
congratulations.
completely blown away. Thank you. I was completely blown away by it. But like, I'm using it as a case study to show that, dude, social media works.
What?
So,
Okay, so why do you think you specifically was successful in selling out within an hour?
I think it has to do with the way that I use social media. I engage with anyone that comes across my feed, you included. Like, we connected via Twitter,
Yeah, it's
and
good. It's cool. It's a cool place to start. Twitter. I think it's
yeah,
very underrated in some ways.
oh yeah, absolutely. Twitter's my favorite platform, but I really do think it had to do with the engagement that I give back. People give me a lot of engagement, but I also give it back. I will retweet anybody. I will send you a video. I will reply to you, no matter what your follower count is, whether you're verified or not. So,
I actually think it's super cool that you're verified on Twitter. So I was super excited when we connected because like
yeah, man.
it's crazy who you meet on Twitter, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah.
And you kind of don't know who's coming next. You'll wake up one day and be like, "Oh, this person followed me." I just had someone out of nowhere from The Walking Dead start following me. They have like,
Wow.
I have to check that they've. I should have done my homework, but they'll have like 1 million followers, and I was like,
It's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised when Gary Vaynerchuk followed me. I was like, whoa.
Oh, really? He follows you?
Yeah.
He liked
Yeah.
one of my tweets once, but he doesn't
Yeah.
follow me yet. So,
Yeah. One day, I hope he follows you. Yeah. And it's funny because when Gary follows you, Gary watches a
yes.
lot. He watches. And it's made me really change up my social media strategy. 'Cause now I think, oh, Gary's probably going to see this. So I better make it valuable, and I better make it worthwhile. So I used to tweet a lot of jokes. I used to tweet a lot of memes, and now I don't do it as much because I'm like, well, I'm trying to grow in this industry, and Gary Vee is watching. I might as well just play the game. So,
Nice, man. So you kind of touched on it, but how important is it to have a sense of direction on social media?
um, I I think at first you don't have to have a direction.
I didn't. I completely
Uh,
didn't.
yeah, you figure it out on your own. Um, it's kind of like starting. It's like starting a podcast or a YouTube channel. You never know what the channel is going to look like in a year, because over that time, what you're doing is you're building, you're finding your voice, and I think in about a year's time, that's enough for you to really define who you are. So, like, this whole Kyle said this brand, I don't know what it is, and I've had this brand for 6 years. And I think it's just about, like, for me personally, just being authentic and being the guy known on the internet who will talk to anyone. So,
Nice. You may not, but do you remember like the first day you joined Twitter and like do you remember anything about the experience?
I joined Twitter. I don't know what my profile says, but I've had like one or two profiles before that. I joined Twitter in 2007, the year after they launched.
Okay.
So I remember very little of that part of Twitter. But then 2009 came around and I started really, really getting into it. And I remember it wasn't like it is now, that's for sure. Verified accounts didn't exist until 2008, 2009. And then I just, all the features that we have now on Twitter, it just wasn't the same. So the
Do, do,
retweet button didn't exist, you
oh,
know?
really?
Yeah, you had to do like RT and then the tweet.
Oh, like physically typing the like coding?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Uh, do, 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 why maybe you don't know, but do you know why they didn't start like with verifying people? Was it because they were so small and they started from nothing? And
Yeah, I don't think they expected to have the amount of celebrities and notable people that they have on the platform. And then when it started getting like that, when like, Kim Kardashian and Shaquille O'Neal all joined Twitter, like, well, all these fake accounts start popping up and it's like, well,
yes,
who's the real person? So that's exactly why they did that. So
Have you ever had,
yeah,
because we're on the topic, have you ever had anyone ever like make fake Cal Harris accounts?
yes, actually, I have. Way before I got verified too.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, and it wasn't. I was never impersonated, uh, like all these other accounts were. I had a lot of parody accounts from people at my school when I was going to high school,
Oh,
and because I had kind of a large following in high school, and that was back in 2000. That was 10 years ago, and people were making fake accounts, making parody accounts, and uh, the verification didn't actually happen for me until about 2 years ago. So, but yeah, I've dealt with fake accounts, and it sucks.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's at the end of the day, it's taken away from who you are. It takes time, like brain power fighting it. Like, and there's a lot of people
yeah.
that are very easily confused, right?
Very easily convinced as well. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So you went from like running a social media agency, right? And then you
hmm
switched a little bit into vlogging, correct?
Yeah, I started vlogging at the beginning of 2018, and tried it every day. I vlogged every day for about 3 months, and just got really, really burnt out, and stopped vlogging. And then for a while, I was editing videos for a guy named Izadi,
Okay.
and he actually works with Logan and Jake Paul.
Oh
But
wow.
he owns this mansion called the Graffiti Mansion in Las Vegas. And what he will do, you've probably seen it online on Facebook and things. He created the Fortnite Mansion, where he spray painted it,
Oh, and then he rents it, does
and
he? Is that right?
he rents it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But he had his team spray paint the house. It was a Fortnite theme, and he's done plenty others. But I used to edit his videos, and then after that, I moved back here, and it's just like, I'm gonna start vlogging again. Let's do it. I had nothing else to do. I didn't know anybody, so vlogging was like an outlet for me to put stuff out there and meet people. And ever since I've been here, dude, I I was here for a month, and I already had news stations
Oh
having
wow.
me on their show, and I was on the radio a couple times, and now it's just my following's not very big on YouTube. I probably have like 350 subscribers, but uh, yeah, dude, vlogging is great. I love it.
So,
So,
so, so do you feel like moving back to a slightly smaller setting really helped you kind of like step out of the shadows and become like Kyle Harris versus like, oh, I'm creating content, but it's for someone else.
uh, yeah, a little bit. Because in Vegas, so like I said, I was married, and in Vegas, I didn't really have control over everything that I was doing. I had to be respectful of other people's time, and I couldn't always vlog whenever I wanted to, and it confused a lot of people. They were like, why do you always have a camera with you, and this and that?" And I'm like, "This is what I'm trying to do." Being here, I live alone. I work at a social media agency, which is encouraged that I do this stuff,
Nice.
sharpen up on my video skills, and uh, yeah, I feel like being back in a smaller place, familiar place as well, has really helped me kind of figure out who I am. So it's a good thing.
Nice. So a lot of people have the misconception about kind of like social media and how, and I was the same way at the beginning, how easy it is, and it's literally, oh, just pull an image from somewhere, chop some words on a page, post it, and that's good to go. How
Mhm.
incorrect is that statement?
Like 110%. It's there's a lot of you have to think about a lot of things when you're posting for a brand or for yourself. Like when I tweet with intention. Uh, and when I post on Instagram stories, when I post on my feed, or if I post on Facebook, always with intention of delivering something valuable or something that's close to me. Like, you'll see on my Facebook, on my business Facebook page, you'll see a lot of like video and professional photos and photos of my family and stuff like that.
Nice.
On Instagram, I don't use Instagram too much, but I love Instagram stories. But I always post with intention, or I post things like where I'm at right now. Like I'm at this gaming lounge, and I'll
That's
post a
cool.
really cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So, yeah, I think when you're doing this job, you have to really think about everything that you're doing because for a brand, you're trying to deliver a message. You're trying to deliver a story and get people engaged. And a lot of people think that throwing up a flyer for an event is good enough.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not, because people scroll right past that. It's annoying, you know? So, in order to do social media well, you have to think like the social media user. Like, you scroll through Instagram and then you find a photo of a cool car or a photo of Gary Vee or a photo of a hot girl, you like it. And then you come across an ad that looks like a TV ad, and you're like, no, like, get out of here. Come
Yeah.
across an ad with somebody an influencer that you like, and you'll probably watch that ad, and then maybe it'll lead you to buy something. So it's all intention. It's all about the hook.
So okay, so we dived into a little bit like on the social media platforms. Like, at least for you, like, what are the platforms that are working most effectively for you for the amount of time that you're investing into them?
Personally, Twitter and Periscope are my favorite because I typically go live about 2 or 3 times a week on Periscope, and I built a really cool audience there, like a very engaged audience that keeps coming back every time I go live, and it's really cool to see them and talk to them when they come back in. Twitter has been my favorite since the beginning, always will be. Facebook is just kind of a place that I post stuff just to post and stay active. And then for me, Instagram is just kind of, it'll be cool when my brand like actually launches and I can use the shop on Instagram. But until then, stories is where it's at for me. But I would say top Twitter.
Yeah, no, I guess for me, like, I'm in the process, like, behind the scenes of like editing all of the like 2 with Mike episodes that we've done so far, and so it's on YouTube because I want to get it out to like obviously multiple like platforms to make it
Sure.
stronger as an overall like concept distribution. And then I think for me, I don't really use Instagram a whole lot. I use it, but like I don't find it gives me any like explosive like growth. Like the
Yeah.
Facebook page, at least for me, is where it's at. But then also Twitter for that local component and connection with people in my local community and people afar, like you. So I think Twitter is a really like great first step to capture like
Yeah.
people's attention, build that relationship, and then if it's right for both parties, like take it to different platforms.
Yeah, Twitter is a great place, especially to connect with people. And so Twitter is a conversation-driven platform. And the more that you search at, like, I'll give you one of my tips that I use a lot is I go in and I search keywords in the search bar. And like I'll look for like entrepreneur, I'll look for social media marketing, or anybody talking about my favorite shoe brand, K Swiss, and I'll go and
Oh yeah.
engage with them. Um, and it's easy to just inject yourself into conversations. And it's not wrong to do that on Twitter. Like if you find somebody talking about AirPods, so be like, oh man, I love AirPods. Like their tweet and then respond to them. Guarantee you, if you do that to about 30 people, you'll get about 5 or 6 people that'll follow you back.
Yeah.
So
Or another one of
it,
my favorite tactics on Twitter is looking to follow some new people. Tag them below.
yep,
I,
that's a good
I,
one.
I did I did that recently, and like it really took off in like my local area, and I connected with some really cool individuals like in the local community,
That's
which was
great.
kind of cool.
Yeah,
Because
it's
people
awesome.
got into a competition, they were like, "Oh, but you missed so and so out of this," and then they tagged them, and then
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh, don't forget about so and so, right?" And so on and so
yeah,
forth,
for sure.
like dominoes.
Yeah. Well, hey, I don't want to cut you off, and my phone is dying.
No, that's good. All
Um,
right.
but I really do want to thank you for having me on, man. Like, it's been great talking to you. And
No good.
if
No,
you want to
thanks for
have
your time.
a longer conversation, I'd be happy to have my phone charged and
That's actually
dive deeper.
fun. That's actually a fun way to end it. All right, all right, guys. So Kyle forgot to charge his phone. This was Tea with Mike, episode 20. He shared some really cool stuff on social media platforms, a little bit on marketing, his journey, and I'm just really happy that he took the time to support me in what I'm doing too. So Kyle, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Tea with Mike, episode 20 is now done.